Recruiting. We all know that in these days it can be quite challenging to do recruiting properly because meeting in person is not really possible, or it is at least quite difficult. Also, many say that they don't have the time to do so many meetings in person. And then they say, well, an interview on the phone might be okay, but it doesn't really give me the personality and the personal impression I really need to make a decision if to hire someone or not. So you often end up in 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of recruiting, and then you realize that the really good people don't go through these many rounds of recruiting anymore. So what's the solution? Today, I have Dr. Patrick Oehler with me, who is the CEO and founder of Retorio. Hello and welcome, Dr. Patrick Oehler.
Hi, Niels. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for taking the time. So I found your company when I read the executive summary where it says Retorio's KI, so that's the artificial intelligence, the AI within 60 seconds can make precise and scientifically founded statements about personality, soft skills, and job fit of people who apply for a certain job in my or anyone else's organization. And of course, my first question is, how? How is that possible to only by video get this kind of data and information without just working with my personal impression? How does that work?
That's a very good question, Niels. And obviously, we've been asked this question pretty often. Maybe to just give you a little bit of background. So we founded Retorio 2018 out of our PhD programs at Technical University of Munich. And initially, we developed this crazy AI that understands human personality from video data. So basically, we collected videos of 10,000s of people in totally different contexts, and we had those videos rated by thousands of human raters who watched these videos and told us how they feel about the person in the video. You know, to which extent the person came across extroverted, open, friendly, and so on. And we used different scientific models in order to label these videos to make sure that we classify perceived personality, soft skills, certain competences in a scientifically valid way. And then we started feeding all this data into our AI that started looking for patterns. And our AI basically pays attention to voice, language, gesture, but also facial expression in order to quantify behavior and basically derive this behavioral personality profile from that. And currently we do that with roughly 90% accuracy, but the algorithms are improving basically day by day.
So I saw that, for example, Lufthansa, the airline, and BMW, they are already using your software. Is that correct?
Yes, so we started working together with quite a bunch of companies, and most of them were German.
That's a good start for a startup to get BMW and Lufthansa on board, to be fair. That's a pretty good start. Well done.
Well, that's the, I mean, one thing we realized that there's a big pain in almost all companies, which is that more and more when they're hiring, they're looking for culture fit, they look for personality, soft skills. They don't care that much anymore about hard skills and prior experience because the requirements are changing all the time anyways when it comes to that. But for them, it's really about finding people that fit into their culture and that they can put in front of a client and that leaves a good impression and that fits in the existing team and so on. And all these things, they cannot really recognize by looking at a CV, right? So most of our clients collect hundreds and hundreds of CVs of people. And especially when it comes to sales jobs, service jobs, and hospitality jobs, these CVs don't really tell you anything that you need to know about the person. And accordingly, it was very easy for us to redesign the recruitment process with our clients and make them focus on personality and soft skills first, and then start looking deeper into prior experience, because experience is something you can get on the job, right? And hard skills is something you can be trained. But changing someone's personality is basically by definition impossible.
Absolutely. So, because one thing, of course, which came to my mind, when we have an artificial intelligence looking at these videos, do we have because we all know, let's face it, when someone enters your office and sits down, we judge people within the first minute, probably within the first couple of seconds. And we all know about unconscious bias. Do we have a solution to unconscious bias here?
Yeah, and that's one of the major strengths of our AI is that it is completely debiased. So we develop new methods to make sure that our AI, when predicting personality based on behavior, does not pay attention to gender, age, ethnicity, or any other factors that basically the candidate cannot change. We completely focus on behavior, on emotions, on expressions, on language, and so on, like those factors that the candidate can basically modify and can basically control in order to leave a certain impression. And that's really one of the benefits you have with AI, whereas a human recruiter will always, when looking at a candidate, see their color or their looks or their age or something like that. AI can be trained to completely ignore these factors. And it more and more becomes a strength of this technology that is able to completely debias recruitment processes.
Of course, now, so especially in the English-speaking world, that might be a bit less of a problem maybe in the United States, but one of the largest recruiting markets in Europe, because I live there, London, United Kingdom, and I know it can be a painful topic, but I have to bring it up. When I see videos and data is derived from videos towards a certain person, GDPR, data protection laws, what about that?
Yeah, so as a German-based startup, we are very, very heavily regulated, not just by GDPR, but actually there's a lot of additional regulation that's a lot tighter when it comes to that. And that more and more becomes actually a strategic advantage for us, because even American clients start approaching us because we are a German startup, because they know we are subject to this very heavy regulation. And there is these certain rules in Germany, like the right to be forgotten. And there's like certain things we only are allowed to do with the data. And the great way, or the great thing is you can train AI to completely focus on behavior and quantifying behavior, and basically completely ignoring the face or the body basically behind that behavior. So you can train your AI to basically quantify behavior and then throw away the initial video data so that you can analyze data in a completely anonymized way. And it allows us to basically conduct a job interview while at the same time not knowing who's in the interview. So that's something that is completely possible with AI, and that will completely change how data privacy is handled in recruitment processes.
That sounds very good, and also sounds tremendously helpful. So of course I have to ask one question: how expensive is that?
I mean, that's the great thing about AI. Once you've trained it, and obviously training it is pretty expensive and a lot of effort. But once you've done that, it becomes incredibly effective, right? So our neural networks, they don't sleep, they don't need any food or anything like that. So we can create very flexible business models that are completely, basically focused on delivering the value that our clients need. And basically our subscriptions start at 200 euros per month. Like a typical package is 1,000 euros per month, but that allows you to basically fill up to 10 positions at the same time.
That's a fraction of what a recruiter would cost me, or a headhunter, or whatever I could use.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've done some case studies with existing clients who saved up to 70% of their effort in recruitment, because through the AI, they got so many early insights into their candidate pool that they could basically stop doing most of their interviews. They stopped doing telephone calls. They didn't need some of the other assessments they've been doing before. And at the same time, the candidates were more happy as well, because for them, it's just a quick video interview. You know, they can record themselves wherever they want at any time, and that's pretty much it for them. And basically everything else happens in the background, and only if they really fit into the culture and so on, they will be forwarded to the next stage. So for them, there's no lost time as well.
Of course, now when I have an organization, and especially when I have a regulated organization, no matter if I'm either a smaller company where I have a very small IT department, or when I'm a large organization, maybe with a compliance department, a large IT department, I have to ask two things. So first, what is my technical effort on my side? And of course, I also have to ask, when I have technical effort, we all know that with talent today, we really have to react quickly. Doesn't it make it longer to react? So technical effort and time to react, what would you say about these two aspects?
That's one of the things that we really spend a lot of attention on, and we develop Retorio in a way to make it super simple and super easy. So basically, with just a few clicks, you can directly integrate us into your existing application process. You can even integrate us into your existing recruitment system. So basically, everything we offer can be triggered automatically through your existing recruitment process. And that makes it very easy for our clients to basically start using us. A lot of them start, with a little testing project where they just add us to some jobs they have open. And then very quickly they realize, oh, this whole thing is completely scalable, So from one day to the other, we can start recruiting up to hundreds of people at the same time through this technology without any additional effort.
Is there a free trial available? So when people are now interested, but they're hesitating due to budget restraints or they're not sure, is there a free trial for clients available?
Yeah. If you go on retorio.com, you can directly register for 1 month free trial. And that often is enough time to fill your first positions. And at the same time, you can also use the technology to analyze your existing team. And that's something we see a lot of our clients do. They don't just use us as a recruitment solution, but they also use us in order to analyze their existing team in order to find out what organizational culture they have, what makes their employees special. And then they take these learnings and transport them into the recruitment process. And this can be done basically completely automatically and within a short time frame.
Excellent. So of course, one last question, then we'll finish, but one last important question I have. You talked about subscription. I am now in this whole leadership consultancy world, professional service for a very long time. So of course I did my research. I am now, and I'm not mentioning your competitors, I am mentioning original contracts which we have here, which clients handed over to us, and they were quite shocked about that. So I just quote here, minimum 60 months of subscription, or contract can be canceled 18 months ahead of the following year. When I start a subscription, how flexible is it?
Yeah, that's something. There's a lot of weird things happening in this industry that we don't really understand, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like our philosophy is very simple. Like when you use Retorio, you can start with a 1 month subscription. You can cancel it at any time, and we have various different packages available. But basically, you can get out of your contract whenever you want, because we don't see any reason for those long-term contracts. Who knows what's going to happen 5 years from now?
Exactly.
And there will be new technologies and whatever. So what's the point in having these long contracts? It just doesn't make any sense.
Excellent. That is a very good statement, I think. And of course, I just want to add here, we also have a very good scientific foundation, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Technical University of Munich, where you did your PhD, was just ranked at the QS World University ranking for 2021. Not only the best university in Germany, but also first time that the German university went top 50 worldwide. So I think we have a very good scientific foundation here as well. And of course, because now some clients or people who are just listening to this might think they have a couple of questions and they want to talk with you directly. So I'm going to put your contact data right in the show notes of this podcast so they can get in touch with you directly. And well, for this interview, Patrick, there's only one thing for me left to say. Patrick, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Niels, for having me. It was a pleasure.